You've just picked up an oversized Android. Whether it's the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 or the HTC One Max, you're going to want to get the most out of it. One way to do that is to pick up some very cool accessories, and we've got five, but you'll see what we mean, that will help you get the most out of yours. The first accessory worth talking about is the Sony SBH52. This Bluetooth accessory isn't as simple as it looks. It's actually a phone. If I stand back, you can actually hold it to your ear and it will receive the Bluetooth call from your phablet. So the big oversized phone can stay in your purse or bag, or your pocket if it fits in the first place. What's very cool about it is it also has a 3.5mm headphone jack, so it is a receiver, music receiver. You can chuck all your tracks onto your phone and listen wirelessly. It has some playback controls as well. If the camera will focus, you can see them right there. All in all, a very cool piece of kit, and if you've got the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, by NFC it'll do one-touch pairing, so it'll be a piece of cake to connect. The second accessory that we've got to talk about is the Pebble smartwatch. Now this thing, if we get right around here without blocking the light, you can see it doesn't just tell the time. If we tap through on it, we can actually change our timepiece very easily. In addition, you've got a whole range of menus. You can read through text messages, control your music, even controlling things like Spotify. It's very cool. You can also install apps. So I've got Snake, for example. You can install something called Glance, which will even tell me when the next train is from Ealing Broadway. Very handy stuff on your wrist. It's not all that fancy to look at. It certainly doesn't match the Galaxy Gear, for example, or Sony smartwatch in that respect, but as far as functionality goes, it's killer. And you know what? It'll last for a few days too, so you won't be out of battery after a couple of days use. The final set of accessories are cases. We've got three right here. We've got the Sony power case for the Xperia Z Ultra. We've got an Aubergine Samsung Galaxy Note folio case, and finally we've got the HTC One Max power flip case thing. It's actually very cool, and we're going to need a table to show you exactly how all three work. In order of size, we've got the three phones with the cases on them. You can see the Samsung Galaxy Note 3 folio case in a weird aubergine color is very simple. It's got a magnetic activation, so just open it up and it will actually turn on your Galaxy Note 3. You've got very minimal kind of thickness added to the relatively slender form of the design. This is definitely the slimmest of all our cases in our lineup. So not much else to say about that really. It does come in other colors, fret not. We've got the HTC One Max power case, and that is a whole different story, partly because it acts as a kickstand. Not a very good one, or at least not on the prototype version we have. If, for example, you actually move it or on a moving train, it will fall flat, but this isn't final version. HTC said there will be some more grippy strips on the actual front. On the front, you'll also find a 1200 milliamp battery, which is very cool considering, as we said, this is a front cover. It's quite flexible. Flexible batteries, well, hey, it adds quite a bit of girth to the thing, so it takes a whole total up to 4500 milliamps, which is sweet. If you can deal with having a big phone that's just gotten a whole lot bigger, then you'll definitely want to opt for it. We aren't so sold on the design. It doesn't close properly either. This isn't final retail version, as we said, though. Make sure you check out what final retail version actually is before you pick one up. That's our advice. As for the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, this too is a kickstand. It has a little groove on the back and it sits very securely, like so. It flops open as soon as you kick it past the groove, but if you're on a shaky table, it actually does hold its position quite well. You've got a power button, you can switch on the battery. It's got 3000 milliamps. It does add a huge amount of girth to this incredibly slender smartphone. It also has a telescopic pen up top, which we can pull out and activate the screen with. There you go. And all in all, it's a very pleasant user experience, but there's no getting around the fact that it adds a huge amount of bulk to this phone. In addition, it charges using a dock connector, not the micro USB, so we're never fans of proprietary chargers. In the same breath, the proprietary charger is the same charger that will charge the Sony Xperia Z Ultra, so it could be the only charger that you ever need for your phone. Hopefully you've enjoyed our roundup of these three accessories. If you've got any questions, please file them in the comments section below.